So in the room today, we have Dr. Glen Donaldson. Hi, Glen, and welcome to the session. Thanks so much for your time. And Glen is our Associate Professor of Finance Division at the Sauder School of Business, and is also the finance track champion. Also, in addition to Glen, I myself here, Tina. So some of you have met with me through advising sessions. To those of you, thank you for your time and for your interest in the MBA program. For those of you who I have not had the pleasure of connecting yet, again, my name is Tina. As you can see on the slide, I'm one of the managers, recruitment admissions at UBC Sauder School of Business. Joining me today here is my colleague Patricia Wang, as well as a manager of recruitment admissions. And Patricia and I actually leading the MBA programs here at UBC Sauder. So if you have any questions about the full-time MBA program or professional MBA program, you're welcome to send us an email. So agenda today, as I mentioned earlier, will be program overview about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll pass to Glen to talk about the finance track information. And then in the end, we'll have the Q&A session. So why UBC Sauder? Well, I know that each of you may have a different reason and different purpose to apply for UBC Sauder. I just gave you our rankings currently. So we're number one business program in Canada. In fact, we're number one for 7 years in a row. And we're also ranked number 37 in the QS 2025 rankings. We have over 49,000 alumni, over 98 countries. So very large business support and business network. And UBC is a diverse university where we welcome students from all over the world. We also run an international MBA program with Shanghai Jiao Tong University, which is one of the top universities in China and also in the world. So Vancouver, for those of you who are here, I see some of you are here and from Surrey, I can see that. You know how beautiful Vancouver is. For those of you who haven't had the chance to be in Vancouver, so Vancouver is nested between the Pacific Ocean and coastal mountains. Is known for its stunning nature beauty, vibrant culture, and diverse communities, known for its mild climate and outdoor activities. So the city boasts attractions like Stanley Park, Granville Island, and also UBC. Vancouver, often referred to as the Hollywood North, if you don't know that, has been the filming location for many famous movies, such as Mission Impossible, Star Trek, Man of the Steel. Obviously, the list goes on and on. So you may bump into movie stars walking around Vancouver. As I mentioned earlier, Vancouver has a mild winter compared to many other cities in Canada. Typically, we don't get a lot of snow, but please don't quote me on that. We do see some snows in the recent years. But if you do like the snow, Whistler, which is one of the largest ski resorts in North America, is just 2 hours away from Vancouver. Some of our MBA graduates land positions in SAP, Amazon, Hootsuite, Microsoft, and Vancouver-based Lululemon. And also many more employers that Sauder has a very strong network connection with. So Vancouver, it is a diverse, vibrant, and great place to march your next study journey. Just a quick glance of our full-time MBA program here. It is a 16-month program, so you typically start the last week of August. The last week of August is what we call the opening week. So you get to know your cohort, your professors, or the staff here. And we do recommend you arrive at least a month before the program starts if you're coming in from different provinces or overseas. This will give you time to settle in, to explore a UBC campus and enjoy Vancouver's best time in the summer. And in September, we start the foundation courses. As you progress through the courses, you will engage in integrated case learning, a core method used throughout the program. Your fall semester ends with a local consulting project, providing a strategic opportunity to build your resume. This will take you up to the Christmas break. And after the holidays, you come back in January, we will begin your career track. And there are 5 designated career tracks, each with a different focus. plus a custom track where you can mix and match courses from those tracks. We'll dive into the tracks later in the presentation, but in February and March, you will undertake International Consulting Project and the GIE, which is a Global Immersion Experience. The Global Consulting Project starts shortly after the Christmas break. You will spend about 6 weeks preparing before traveling abroad to visit the set, to meet the management team, and to pitch your solutions to the team. The project offers a unique opportunity to build your resume with both local and international consulting experience, providing a global business perspective. So as you can see, September to January, that's what we call period 1 and 2, where you complete the foundation courses, including some of the courses are accounting, economics, and marketing, as well as practical classes, such as leadership development and decision-making for managers. When you come back after the Christmas break, you will head into the January to May, which is your specialized track period. And then you will have a spring break, which give you some time off. And many students will take this opportunity to stay and further experience in the country where they complete their GIE, which is Global Immersion Experience. And after the Global Immersion Experience and spring break, you will return to the more elective courses. And following this, you will enter an exciting phase of the MBA journey, which is the summer experiments, which I'll touch on in my next slide. And during this period, you will choose the 3 options, which is internship, an entrepreneurial project, and industry project. And then when you finish that summer, you will come back to finish more elective courses and a capstone in December. Then you complete your MBA courses. So the career tracks, as you can see, we have 5 different career tracks plus the custom track. Today, we'll talk about the finance track, and that is the Dr. Glen Donaldson will be the lead for the finance track, starting this September, as well as for next cycle. So there are a lot of courses I know Glen will touch on, so I will leave to Glen to introduce that track. And for the global immersion experience, as you can see that our student went to 3 different locations this year. That's our Chile, Cape Town, and Singapore. This mandatory program allows you to expand your network and gain global perspective. So for instance, if you're interested in natural resources, you may choose Chile, or if innovation and finance interests you, you could select Singapore. Before you start the consulting project, you will be informed about available countries, usually in the fall, and you will then rank them from 1 to 3. We'll try our best to match your top choice. So summer experience, as I mentioned earlier, that is you do have 3 options. Typically, your student will choose the internship, and the internship is a paid internship, which lasts about 4 months, and typically offers an average salary of $4,700 per month. That's Canadian dollar. And alternatively, some students choose to launch a new business idea or working on a research project. And after the summer, you will continue with more elective courses, as I mentioned, and you also will have an opportunity to participate more international exchange program. And just to remember, the internship is a minimum 8 weeks. You can choose the local companies in Vancouver or different companies outside Vancouver, as well as international. You will have a support from our Business Career Center for sure. So make sure that you connect with our career strategists from earlier on when you start the program. And I want to just quickly mention about the Global Network of Advanced Management, which is short for GNM. UBC is the only Canadian school in the GNM network. It was led by Yale School of Management, with 32 leading business schools globally, as you can see on the screen. You can see Berkeley as LSE and Oxford. So it's a 1-week global advanced management week where you can study different topics in the choice of the school of your interest. And you can do in person for a week, or you can choose virtual courses for 1 week. And in addition to those 2 global experiences you can access, There is the last one is actually a global exchange program. You can participate. It is an optional program out of the MBA program. So it happening usually in the last fall, which is September to December of your last semester. You can change one of the schools out of 34 exchange partners with UBC Sauder. And typically that is about 8 weeks or the entire semester. So we do recommend if you're interested in one of the schools on the list, you may want to connect with a global manager in the springtime to set your plan. All right, just the scholarship awards. You can find this information on the website. I can share the link in a sec. So we do have a variety of scholarships available to our applicants. Make sure you do submit your application according to the deadlines. Normally, the regional application scholarship will have the first application deadline as the deadline for the scholarships as well. So usually October. And in this year case, it's October 15th. So make sure you submit applications if you're interested in the regional scholarships. Additional scholarships you can see here. We do offer half tuition fee as a scholarships as well as full ride scholarships. Again, each scholarship will have a different deadline, so make sure you submit your application accordingly. Just some admissions requirement. Again, I'll share the link in the chat in the sec. It's similar to last year, so I won't go through each one, but as you can see it's on the slide. Again, I do want to mention that since the GMAT version changed to the focus version this year, and if you took the GMAT previously and it's still available within the 5 years time, then we still accept that GMAT score. So for the GMAT Classic, you need to meet a minimum 550, and you also need to have a minimum 50 percentile for each quant and verbal section. To apply for the GMAT jury waiver, please take a look on the website. And this year we offer the form for you to fill out if you are planning to apply for the GMAT jury waiver. Additional information will be shared in the link, so please take a look. All right, just some application deadlines before I hand over to Glen. Early bird is coming up on September 3rd. Please make sure you send me a full application, meaning that you also need to provide the documents as well. So the documents include your reference letters. I would really recommend you to reach out to referees to make sure they know that you're applying and they can provide the reference letters by September 3rd. And following the September 3rd deadline, we have a first application deadline, second application deadline on January 10th next year. And our last application deadline for international students, March 11th, and the last application deadline for domestic applicants, May 6th. Okay, so I will pass to Glen to talk about the finance track. So I will stop sharing. Okay.
Hello, everybody. I'm Glen Donaldson. I'm a finance professor here at UBC, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about finance and the finance track, and then you can ask questions if you have any. So the first thing to note about the finance track is that it's a blend. It blends very well, sort of rigorous finance foundations with hands-on applied learning. So what you learn in the finance track is real-world stuff. It's not just all theory, but it's certainly supported by strong financial economic foundations. So you're learning stuff that gets done in real life, but you're learning it rigorously. So we've designed the track with extensive consultations with employers, with industry experts in fields that in the field of finance, but also fields that leverage finance expertise. So I will take you through a website in a minute that contains some of this information, but I'll share some things with you first, and then we'll see some stuff online. The first thing to note is that you do not have to be or have any experience in finance to be in the finance track. So you do not have to come from a finance background. That's not the assumption. Coming in, we assume that you don't know any finance. You can start from ground zero. In fact, many people switch careers. They start in one area and then they move into finance. So if that's what you're thinking, an MBA can help you enter a new track of your career and grow your career potential, then this is a great track for you. If you do have a background in finance, that's also great. So there's lots of things that you'll learn in the courses at UBC and in the program that would be certainly in addition probably to whatever you're doing currently in your finance position if you have one. What are some of the kinds of careers that people have? One area people get into is corporate finance, management consulting. This includes things like strategic planning and financial planning, company finance and project finance, international finance, obviously. Also areas such as corporate control and risk management, things like climate finance and sustainability also. And this is done inside companies, in-house, as we say, or as a consultant. Another career path is on the investment side. So people get into debt and equity, green investing, trading strategies, trading stocks and bonds, things like this. Areas such as financial technology, fintech, venture capital. There's a robust venture capital community in Vancouver, along with the technology community. People also get into real estate, things like venture capital funds and hedge funds, private equity, strategic investing, things like that. Another sort of area that people get into is things like banking, investment banking, commercial banking, mergers and acquisitions, doing IPOs and underwritings, credit lending, things like this. So there's one thing about finance that's great is it's a global community. There are careers globally in finance, and in this area, it is one of the areas that is easier to move around the world with the skills in finance. Finance, given that it's a core of business, is essential for executive leadership. So if you are, the president of a company or in senior executive positions in a company, leadership, looking at things like governance and control and innovation, entrepreneurship, all these areas are very important to have finance knowledge in. This is involved in companies, obviously, but also in governments and international agencies. So finance is a very dynamic field. It's growing rapidly. It's high in demand. So incomes in finance, salaries people get tend to be, at the higher end of areas that you can go into, and the demand is strong. So currently, almost a quarter of job postings are in the area of finance, and more than a third are in the areas of finance and consulting, of which finance is a key part. So finance is currently the largest career track in the MBA program. In terms of jobs, we've placed people all over the world and in Canada, clearly. One of the previous slides showed Lululemon. Yes, we've placed people in Lululemon. Also in financial institutions, various banks around the world, JP Morgan and Royal Bank in Canada. So let's look at the finance website on Sauder, and this will help you see some of this information, and I'll be able to share other information when I'm doing that. So if you go to the MBA program website and you scroll down, you'll see information about the MBA program. And if you come down here, it says specialized career tracks, and you can click on that and then scroll down to finance and click on learn more, and you will get to the finance career track webpage. So this contains all the kind of information that I've been giving you. It talks about the rankings of UBC. As Tina had said earlier, UBC is ranked the #1 business school in Canada. We're in the top 50 in the world, currently ranked number 37, I believe. So extremely highly ranked. The kinds of courses that you take are just all the ones that I've just been talking to you about. So courses in financial technology, venture capital, financial planning and valuation, investment management. You start your journey off At the beginning, you take foundational courses. So every student, whether you're in the finance track or not, you take courses in a course called Fundamental Finance, which is the basics of investments in corporate finance, along with courses like accounting and economics, and marketing and technology and all those kinds of things that Tina was talking about. And then when you start to specialize, you take three core courses in finance: banks and financial markets, financial planning and valuation, and investments. Those are your three core courses. And then you have open to you a very large range of electives. And those include things like fintech, venture capital, that's on your screen, advanced investment management, mergers and acquisitions, very popular course, risk management, and we have a new course in climate finance. So all of these courses are taught by people who are industry experts in the area that they're teaching. So, for example, the person that teaches our course in banking and financial markets got their PhD from Cambridge and was for many years the director of commercial banking in Europe, Middle East, and Africa. The person who is teaching our advanced investments class was formerly the global head of quantitative investments at RBC, which is one of the top 20 largest banks in the world. So these people really know their stuff in real life, but also, given the strong foundations of finance. I'll just play this video for you that contains some information presented in a more entertaining way.
We have a long and successful history of research and teaching in finance here at UBC Sauder, and there's amazing opportunities in this industry.
My name's Glen Donaldson. I'm a finance professor at UBC Sauder. Finance is a very important subject in business. It's sort of at the core of what business managers need to know. People in areas of executive leadership need to know finance, and more than a third of the jobs currently being advertised are in the areas of finance. So it's an area of high demand and high interest. People that want to have interesting careers that give them lots of room for growth and mobility, finance is a great area. You could start in real estate, move into mining, and then go into the investment community, and could then go to a hedge fund, and then come back and be the CEO of a technology firm. The courses in the MBA program are specifically designed to be real world as well as grounded in solid financial economics. There's some amount of quantitative work in finance, so being quantitatively minded is helpful, but that's not enough. You also have to be thinking broadly and creatively. Finance is an area where what we teach and what students learn is in fact what happens in real life. The finance markets are global. We have graduates all over the world. Our graduates go to a variety of very interesting places like BMO and the Royal Bank, Deloitte, Bloomberg, JP Morgan, also in strategic areas. We've placed people at Lululemon, for example. UBC is one of the top 50 universities in the world, and UBC Sauder in particular is extremely highly regarded. The professors are great, your fellow students are great. The opportunities, the pipeline, the alumni network. Vancouver is the gateway to the Pacific and connected globally. So if you're looking for an interesting and flexible career with lots of opportunities and UBC Sauder sounds right for you, love to see you in class.
Okay, so you can watch that. One of the reasons I'm showing this to you is so you can go back and re-see all this stuff at your convenience. Also listed on this finance webpage is some of the jobs that people have landed coming out of UBC, and some of their internships. There's a list of some sort of example employers, and then of course connections to former students and what they've done and all this kind of stuff. There's also a list of the courses. There's a brochure that lists all the courses that are being offered. And in the finance track, you can take other courses from any track that you want. Okay, so it's very flexible. So if you're in the finance track, you can still take courses in marketing and all these other things. And in fact, we encourage it. So we like people that are well-rounded. But there are also, many finance courses that you can also take all of them if you wish. You have quite a bit of flexibility.